is you're not going to understand what they went through, and that's not your job. Your job is not to understand them. Your job is to support them. You support them through it. You stand by them, but don't try to understand, because you never will. You're never going to understand a veteran, because the only person that will understand him is another veteran. And so that's why I'm pushing for peer support, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is to get the word out that they're not alone. And that these 682 every month, these 22 a day, these one every hour, these one soldier every day, letting them know that they're not alone in the way that they think, and that it's okay to feel this way, and it's okay to feel it. It's not okay to act on it. A lot of people ask, the first question that I'm asked is, what's the best way to handle a situation if they're freaking out in that moment? Say you're out at a restaurant or at a bar, and they all of a sudden something takes over, and you see their face just go blank. You can tell that they're freaking out, but they're trying to hide it. They're trying to be secretive about it, but it's pretty obvious. Whenever this happens, you catch their attention. You grab their eyes, you get them to make eye contact, and you take them away from that spot. If you're in a crowded room, you take them outside, and you don't make them feel like you know what's going on. You just make it feel like, hey, let's just go out here real quick, and you just start talking to them and get them distracted off of that mindset that they're in right then. Another big question is, I'm trying to think. People ask me why are suicides so high now when they weren't back in the day. I was talking to Jeremy, and he informed me that back then they didn't have the same they didn't have the same way of keeping record. They didn't really pay attention to the amount of suicides back then. And so there's no guarantee that right now there's more suicides than there was from Vietnam or from World War II, or there's no telling on any of that, because they don't have record of any of that. But it's not a generational thing. I don't feel like it is, because 60% of the veterans that attempted suicide, or that committed suicide, successfully committed, are over the age of 50. The other 40, it's either 30 or 40%, are under that. Whenever I attempted suicide, I was 22 years old. I went to New Orleans on Saturday, and the family that I met, their son was 21 years old, and he shot himself. And they'll never get to see their son again. And it's because he couldn't find. You don't want to look for help. The biggest thing is you want to bring the help to the veteran, not make the veteran look for the help. I shouldn't have to go and contact my VA and wait for an appointment and get pills thrown at me, and to go through this long process, all this paperwork, just to get the help that each and every one of us deserve. So what I want to do is I want to make it to where when veterans come out, whenever they get out of their unit and they move to their hometowns, we have the organization in that town contact the family and contact the veteran, and you keep them distracted with everything, with going out and doing something at the lake, or the biggest thing is to make them realize that they're still part of a family. Because you get out of the Army and you feel like you left your family, because the guys that you deploy with, they're closer to you than anyone that you'll ever meet. Like, it's closer than a brother, it's closer than family, because these guys are the guys that you're with for 12 months straight, 24/7. You're getting on each other's nerves, you're fighting each other, you're a real family. And then they're gone. They all move home, or they go to the next unit, and then you feel alone. You can be surrounded, you can be in a room with 1,000 people and still feel like you're all alone. Like, no one in this room understands me, no one gets me, no one's ever going to understand. I'm done. Why should I put up with this? And if you're listening to the band that was playing earlier, he talks a lot about that. It's about the lights getting dim, and you just feel like the best answer is to go ahead and just take your own life, because then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Survivor's guilt, that's a big thing. Whenever you have survivor's guilt, that's when you come back and you think, well, this guy died, but why? Why couldn't it have been me? For example, I went through a situation where, I saw some people, and they passed away, and one of them was a 19-year-old who was a son, or he was a father to a son and a wife, and he passed away. And so my thought was, why couldn't have that been me? Because I don't have a wife. I don't come from a very strong family. It could have been me, because I feel like if my life would have been taken, he could have gone on to be a great dad, a great husband, and raise this amazing family. And so it's really hard to handle that and to think about that. You know, all you think about is that it should have been me, could have been me. And so, you know, in the Army, you're taught to be selfless. In the military, you're taught to be selfless. You never leave a fallen comrade. You know, you're taught to protect everybody but yourself. That is what you're taught. You're taught that, you know, the battle buddy, the guy to your right and the guy to your left, you're going to save those guys' lives. That's your job. And so if you fail at that, it kills you. And then when you get out, it kills you. Because that's all you think about is the survival.